Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through the ABRSM Theory Grades. Once you've completed your music theory and practice workbook, past papers are an excellent revision resource. I've worked with you from 2014 to 2018 past papers, and now I'm thrilled to be able to bring to you 2019 past papers. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available to download in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best be prepared for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel and share out the videos. And now we're going to continue with the next question on the 2019 Grade 4 practice paper booklet. So if you turn with me to page 5, and we're going to start looking at question 2. So have a go of these on your own first of all. It's always better to have a go. Doesn't matter if you go wrong, work in pencil. Then you can just erase any mistakes, and it's always better to learn by your mistakes. Best to make the mistakes now rather than on exam day, and you'll learn much more thoroughly that way. So now we're going to be looking at intervals. So these are melodic intervals. Remember, a melodic interval comes one after another as if in a melody, unlike a harmony, which is a harmonic interval where they come together as a chord. Now, regardless of which note comes where, we always count the lowest note as our tonic, as it were, counting that as the first, and we're counting up. And the key signature only applies in the fact that we decide whether it is active in one of these notes given to us. So the first job is to just get the number of the interval, and that's half marks straight away. So if you're just counting, don't forget to always count the given note, the lowest note, as note 1, and then you're counting in steps, space line, and so on. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know that this is a seventh of some sort, and so that's half the marks already. And now we have to think about whether it's major, minor, or so on and so forth. And so our lowest note is actually F sharp because of the key signature there. However, it's quite tricky to be thinking, is this major minor in F sharp minor or F sharp major or so on? You can do it that way, but it's just easy to think, well, F to E. If you visualise the image, I do suggest you just sketch out a quick piano keyboard. Even if you don't play piano, it's just helpful. So F to E is a major interval. It's a major seventh. E is part of F major scale. It's the full step. Major means greater. And then because the bottom note is raised, it's made the interval smaller. Minor means smaller. And so that means it's now a minor seventh. So F to E is major, raise the lower note, which makes the interval smaller, and so now we know that that's a minor seventh. So there we go. Let's have a look at the next one. So here we've got a 1, 2, 3, fourth, a fourth of some sort. Now then, there's no major or minor when it comes to fourths, fifths and octaves. And if you want to know why that is, if you go into my playlist, Music Theory for Everyone, you'll find the link in the cards and in the description. I explain each of the intervals in turn, and I go into this in more depth. So if you want to do a little bit of more research, then do have a look at that video. And also, I do suggest that you have all of your keys written to hand. So your key signatures are just there for you, and just write up to the number of sharps and flats you need. And so the circle of fifths helps you to do that. And you'll find in that playlist as well a tutorial on how to work out your circle of fifths and get all your key signatures down quickly. So then, we know that this would be perfect if it's been unaltered, because if we're looking at an E to an A, that's a perfect fourth. However, the A has been raised, and so we've made that big that interval bigger, we've augmented that interval. Augmented means made bigger. So then we know that that's an augmented fourth because we've raised that top note there. So here we have next door notes, an E to an F something, an E flat to an F in this case, but E something to F something is always a second next door notes. And then we know that in the key of E flat major, E flat to F is a full step, it's a major second. So that's that one. There we go. And so carrying on with this topic of intervals, however, now we're asked to create the interval as described. Again, it should be a melodic interval, so there should be one after the other. We're always counting up from the lowest note. So first of all, we need to get the blob in the right place. So we're counting from this G, line, space, line, space, line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that takes us to a D. Now then, at the moment, G to D is perfect and we need it to be diminished, and so we can't change the given note, we have to change the note here that we've written. So in order to make the interval smaller from perfect to diminished, we lower the top note by a semitone to D flat. We make it smaller, we diminish it. So there, that becomes a flat and we've made it smaller. There we go. Now then here we have to write a third. So we're going from B flat in this case, B flat, C, D. And in the key of B flat major, D is part of that key signature. B flat major has B flats and E flats. D is part of that key signature. It's the larger interval. Nothing's been changed. And so as it stands, that's already a major third. So that's soon completed. There we go. Let's have a look at the next question. So now we're asked to add all the necessary accidentals to make a chromatic scale using these note heads as given. And this is another example of where it's so helpful to just visualise the intervals on a piano keyboard so you're not continually getting lost. So we're starting on note D and we're going to be coming down in semitones. It's worth just remembering the couple of things we need to think about. We take our first note as sort of the tonic of that, and we need to keep notes 1, 4 and 5 in relation to what that key would be. And so 1 would be a D. So if ever you get the choice, you would call it a D, not a C double sharp or something like that. We need to keep that true to the key. And then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 needs to be a G. So you call it a G, not a F double sharp or something like that. And then 5 is an A. Now we're not really going to struggle with that because they've given us the note heads. So they've done that bit of thinking for us. We're just responding to what's there and making it fall in semitones. The other thing to remember is that each step of the scale, space line, and so on, needs to be represented at least once, but no more than twice. And again, they've done that thinking for us, so all we've got to do is add the accidentals. They've done a lot of the work for us here, but it's worth just remembering these just as a bit of a revision tip. So then, if we're coming down in semitones, the next note we want, we would either call it D flat. However, here we've got a note C, so we'll call it C sharp. So we need to raise that as a sharp. And then we need note C. Now don't forget that is still sharpened, so we need to cancel that sharp to make it a C natural. B is already there for us. And then down a step, we would have to call that B flat because they're given us a note B head. If they're given us a note A, we'd have to call it A sharp, but here it's a B, so we call it B flat. Down a step takes us to A. Now the next note we need is here, so we could call that A flat, but they've given us a note G head here, so we'd have to call that G sharp to fit with the note head they've given us. Then we need a G natural, and so we need to cancel that sharp now. So just be careful you cancel as you go along so you haven't got your sharp still standing. So the next note down we need is an F sharp. Then we cancel that, we need an F natural. Next door note is E, and that's okay as it is. Then the next one down would be this, so we could call it a D sharp, but as we've got a note E head again, we'll call it E flat to make that fit. And then down one more step takes us to D, and we're back home and dry. So there we go, that's soon completed. Let's have a look at the next question. So we're asked to write the key signature of G sharp minor, and then one octave ascending, make sure we're going up, of the melodic minor scale. So the first thing to do is write the key signature. So here we can see that G sharp minor is related to B major. We have a key signature of F, C, G, D, A sharps. And you can see how if you've done your circle of fifths, all your thinking is done in one easy go, and you're not continually sort of stressing out and scratching your head trying to figure out keys all the time. You do your thinking calmly and clearly in one go, and then it's there for you to keep referring back to. So do have a look at the playlist Music Theory for Everyone, and do have a look at the video The Circle of Fifths. You'll find the links in the cards and the descriptions. So then we know we've got a key signature of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sharps. We have F, C, G, D, A sharp. So let's do that straight away. F, C, G, D, A sharp. And now we need the scale starting on G sharp. So I'm going to just get the note heads in place first of all. Starting on the G, line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space, because scale literally means step. We have to step up the ladder system on the stave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's an octave, and we've ended again on G sharp. So we've got the key signature, we've got the scale in place, but now we need to make it the melodic minor. And as we're going up, the ascending version of the melodic minor has a raised 6th and 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the 6th, here's the 7th. So at the moment, this E is an E natural. The key signature doesn't affect that, so we need to raise that by adding a sharp sign. Now here, this is an F sharp already because of the key signature, and so in order to raise that sharp, we have to call it a double sharp. And so we've gone to F double sharp. Be careful that you always think of that as F double sharp. So the scale has literally gone D sharp, E sharp, F double sharp, G sharp. Don't start thinking of F double sharp as a G. It isn't, because it's on this F line here. It's replacing the F or the F sharp note. It's nothing to do with the sort of the tone of note G at all. It's on the F line. So don't try and enharmonically change things or think about it. It literally is just raised, because it's replacing these notes as necessary for the scale structure. So there we go. Once you've done that, raised 6th and 7th, that question is now complete. I do hope that's helpful to you. I hope this is helping you with your studies. I hope that you're enjoying getting to grips with it. I'm certainly enjoying working through these with you. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel so as to keep updated, and please do share out the videos. Please do also visit sharonbill.com and have a browse around all of the resource and information that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.